So let's move to the next speaker of the day. And next up is something that we all have been craving for, which is in fact the very foundation of our SHEmantra group, and that is abundance. But what are the exact elements you need to nurture in order to become so magnetic that you find yourself rolling in abundance both in life and in business? The energetic secret of playing big. That's what our next speaker of the day, Alpa Kapadia Teli, is going to share with us. A quick brief about her. Alpa is an executive leadership and life coach and founder of Ignite the Spark School of Transformation. She has been in the field of personal transformation for 20 plus years. Needless to say that with such a significant body of work with her on her side, Alpa is here to charm us with her talk today. Sorry about the mispronunciation. So welcome, Alpa. Stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Roshni. I would not decide that in advance. Let's go through the talk. It has a very different flavor, and I'm so excited to share it with you all. So let's start with the poem, which I wrote. I had a vision since I was a little child. I wanted to be free, abundant, and wild, talking across the world on large stages to positively make a difference to people of all ages. To play big and bold was my dream, is my dream. To love and support everyone, from the less fortunate to the creme de la creme. All went well till I was in the 20s. I was on track. Then a series of events got me way out of whack. Societal expectations combined with my own codependency were a lethal combination. And I felt that self-care, self-love, following my dreams were selfish and out of fashion. I had eventually become a shadow of myself. I couldn't recognize the girl in the mirror. My soul seems to have gone off. Somewhere I had lost her. Then one day, I got a call from an unknown number. He called himself my lover. I remembered him. I knew him from many years ago. There was a familiarity. We started chatting. It was so great to be with someone who sees me fully. Then one fine day, out of the blue, he said something to me. It left me gobsmacked and brought me to my knee. He said, break up with your shadows, and that girl that you lost, I will help you find her. You know, his voice had a promise, a warmth that I had not felt in a long time. I was scared, though, to trust it. Would my decision be futile? My shadows and fears had been a known devil to me. I knew my way around. To forsake them for a new lover? And further, I was not sure that she could be found. Well, my lover gave me the ultimatum. If you keep playing the prostitute and selling out on your dreams, I cannot be with you. You have to stop cheating on me and promise to renew your commitment anew. This seemed a terrifying but exciting adventure. Do you want to know what I did after this going further? Yes. The unknown call that I was talking to you about was a panic attack that I felt when I was strolling 5 minutes from my house. You know, we think panic attacks, anxiety, depression, claustrophobia are bad, but they are actually gifts. They are somewhere signs from the universe that we have gone off track on our life purpose. There's something more for us which we have not explored yet. I want to clarify here, this is not to generalize. Many people are going through this, and there's immense respect for whatever they are going through and whether they can get over it or not for whatever reason. But I believe that these are not here to stay forever. Depression, I believe, is just your soul's way of telling you that I'm tired of being that character that you're trying to play. And as I learned about shadow mastery, I learned how I was playing a prostitute. It shocked me when my lover told me that. It totally got me out of whack. But it was true. I was selling my soul, my dreams, my desires, my opinions, and my truth in exchange for stability, security, and status quo. I was being someone who was trying to fit in when I was clearly born to stand out. I was dimming my shine, moderating my self-expression so that the others would feel comfortable around me. They would not feel threatened. And there were many such areas where I was hiding and playing small, not asking for what I deserved in terms of my prices, not showing up on social media because I was scared what my family think, having constant drama in all my relationships, waiting for someone to give me permission to start working on my dreams. That list was endless. But that call from my lover, it was a reminder that my vision had not yet given up on me. There was still time to break out of this character, to be who I was really meant to be. And then I asked my lover, thanks for the reminder. I so needed it. But how do I get through this breakup? I'm all exhausted. I'm spent out. Tell me the shortest way from my prostitute to my lover. And he gave me a secret formula. Would you like to hear it? Secret formula is very simple, has just 3 steps. The first one is radical awareness. Radical awareness and radical awakening. I'm saying this because I really love the book and they both are very synonymous. Radical awareness came into my life with shadow mastery. I understood how the prostitute archetype was ruling my life in cahoots with the victim archetype. Now, these archetypes are pretty self-explanatory, at least the victim one. The prostitute, I'll explain what it was. Now, I was a people pleaser, so I was feeling very sorry for myself that I had to please so many people. Now, because I was pleasing so many people, I did not believe I was worthy of being pleased. Because I did not believe I was worthy of being pleased, nobody else was pleasing me either. Now, because nobody else was loving and pleasing me, I was trying even harder to love and please. It was such a double bind. A prostitute sells her body for financial gains. When we keep our dreams quiet, we don't speak out our biggest, boldest dreams. When we dress in a way which blends in, when we do not ask for what we deserve in personal and professional life, because we don't want to rock the boat and we want that security and stability. What does that make us? Think about that a moment. When I broke up with my prostitute archetype, I finally learned to love myself, to speak my truth, and care 2 hoots about other people's opinions. The first few months of my relationship with my lover were very rocky. People were so used to me being the nice person and the people pleaser. They did not like this change at all. But this time was different. I had the unconditional love and acceptance of my lover by my side. And I didn't need the validation of others quite so much. So slowly and surely, I set the boundaries and I reset my relationships. The second key, the second step after radical awareness is radical forgiveness. I was enjoying this new way of life, of speaking my truth, but I was finding it very difficult to keep pace with this because I had this big burden on my shoulders of all the resentment, the hurt, the past grievances that I was carrying on my shoulders. So, on my lover's advice, I wrote out a check of forgiveness to every single person who had hurt me, whether they knew it or not. And trust me, this was the most expensive check I have ever written. But you know what? With that burden gone and my need to feel right also gone, life was really much more lighter and much more joyful. And after this radical awareness and radical forgiveness came the third secret of radical responsibility. You know, it was so comfortable for me. I had become so used to blaming others, people, places, situations, and things for my inability to fulfill my dreams. And finally, my lover's third condition was that I needed to be fully responsible for my own dreams. So I started really small steps, started raising my prices, started taking care of my body, nurturing my friendships, mastering my energy, preparing myself energetically to receive the abundance that I desire. And finally, here is when I was ready to work on my vision. But you know what? I didn't wait for all of this to happen and fall perfectly in place before I started. I started where I was. I'm sure many of us are in different stages of this journey. So I started where I was, just took one step at a time. We may all not have all of it together yet, but even while I was healing, I still managed to impact hundreds and thousands of people. And each of us have that in us, even as we are healing, to impact hundreds and thousands of people. And once I cleared up these shadows, started mastering my energy, I reconnected with another lost relationship, my intuition. I started making decisions differently. I started making big and bold decisions, personally and professionally. And my business took off in ways I had never imagined it would. I invested heartily in my growth and it paid off multifold. You know, when we think of playing big, we start with strategy. And that's where we falter. Because energy will eat strategy for breakfast. And the secret is start with energy. Do the energy work before the strategy work. Then you will be able to sustain your growth, pivot whenever you need to in order to keep on growing your business. So what is the moral of this whole story that I shared with you? That you cannot play big when you are cheating on your dreams with your shadows. Before you play big outside, you need to play big inside. And while you are playing big inside, nobody will know. Nobody will clap. Nobody will acknowledge you. But when you win that inner game, you will rule the outer game and play big in each area of your life. And that, my dear ones, is the energetic secret of playing big. Thank you.
Ooh, loud applause
Thank
for
you so
you,
much.
Alpa. Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Awesome. So I always thought execution eats strategy for breakfast. Now I have a new mantra. Energy eats strategy.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. So I've seen you speak on stages and sessions like these many a times, Alpa. How different it was to speak on a She Talks platform this time, today.
So this time firstly, the talk was freshly written. So I had come up with a talk and Subha just kind of tore it up. Not so much, but literally. And it was true because it was a talk which was written at another time. So the freshness which came, it came because the She Talks audience was in mind. And it was really that this audience should get value from it. And you all know that I'm the one person who will always be like, raise your prices, ask for what you want, play big. And that's my dream for every SHEMantra and every woman in the world, really. So it was very special to speak to you all. Always is.
Awesome. I loved the way you started with the poem, and I think it's very different start that I've seen to your talk. So kudos to you. I wanted to add that the point that you, Alpa, said that although you've talked a lot about shadow mastery, but you've curated and tailored this particular conversation and talk for this audience. And this is one thing which we've learned in previous masterclasses also, from the experts, that you have to keep your audience in mind. No matter how many times you have repeated the same thing, you have to keep the audience takeaway. And that's what Shilpa reinforced, that it was a very responsible talk, keeping the audience in mind. Thank you so much.